Number 2 and number 1 are very difficult for me. They really are 1A, 1B. And I'm right when this list came out, a lot of people were upset that this team at number 2 is not number 1. That is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish show, checking in at number 2 on this list. Notre Dame does not have 2 top 10 running backs in the country like the number 1 team does on this list. But they might have the deepest room in college football. You see right there, Jeremiah Love, that guy on the screen, is the best running back in college football, bar none. I don't even think it's much of an argument right now. Jeremiah Love is the best running back in America going into next year. The second most valuable running back in college football last year, according to our wins above average metric. And he was second in the Power 4 with a 38% forced missed tackle rate. I know we just saw 2 running backs in the first round in Ashton Jeanty and Amari Hampton. I think we're going to get another one in 2026. I believe Jeremiah Love will be a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Behind him is a really, really good number 2 running back in Jadarian Price, who honestly is probably a top 20-ish running back in college football going into next year. He led the Power 4 with 4.5 yards after contact per attempt last year. They also brought back Aeneas Williams, who is second among all true freshman running backs with 172 receiving yards last year. And then you also have a redshirt freshman in Keidron Young, who was the number 9 running back coming out in the high school class in 2024, and a true freshman in Nolan James Jr., who was number 15 running back coming out in the 2025 class. So you have the best running back in America in Jeremiah Love. You have one of the best number 2 running backs in America in Jadarian Price, and then a really good true sophomore in Aeneas Williams, and then a couple guys behind them too were really highly rated recruits. So Notre Dame was almost number 1 for me, Dalton, but not quite.
It's funny because it almost feels like the biggest obstacle to Jeremiah Love winning a Heisman is that Notre Dame has so much depth behind him, right? That, last year only got 162 carries. It's going to be hard to win a Heisman on that, but you've got Price behind him who can spell Love, obviously with the explosiveness and the speed that he has. You want to keep that fresh at all times, and then I really do like Williams as a receiving complement in this backfield. I think he could get used even more as that third guy or maybe even moving around the formation. Some similar player, I think, to Cash Jones at Georgia that we mentioned before. Yeah, he's a receiving back, but greatly complements the first 2 backs that you have here. So, look, you got the number 1 back in the country. You got a really deep room. Better be a pretty darn good unit at number 1 to be ahead of that. And I'm sure you're going to – this 1 and 2, I think, is where you're going to get a lot of argument maybe in the comments and from the fans here about, hey, you know what, maybe they have Love. They have the number 1 guy. They might even be a little bit deeper, but, well, your number 1 team's got a good argument too.
Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.